Greetings YouTube. Today I'll be looking at the ThruNite Ti3 keychain light. I'm going to operate this one-handed. So we have, this is the Firefly mode. You can see my cat. And at this mode you get the longest duration and the minimum amount of light, which is just perfect for reading things in a car or even a book in bed. I know I've used this mode to do that, and it works perfectly. Does not put out too much. Then you off and on. There we go. Now I get to the strobe, which is really quite psychedelic. And off, and then back on, and it goes into the Firefly mode. And if you leave it off for a while, it'll go back into the Firefly mode as a default. Now I'm going to go check out what it looks like outside and in a vehicle, so you can see how it functions in more of a real world application. And here we are in my vehicle, and you can see Firefly mode is perfect for looking for things in your vehicle without a blinding amount of light. You see my very old GPS system. But this thing is just perfect for doing in the car kind of stuff, which is frankly what I've most often used my keychain lights for, which is looking for things inside the vehicle. And if you really need to, you can go off, then really flood the vehicle. There we go. Really flood the vehicle with light. And now you can, it's, you know, bright as day in here, which is kind of helpful. There's my key, which I can't leave in the car, otherwise I'll lock myself out. And now I want to go out and we'll try it in the yard. All right, now we're going to check out the different modes. And this is the secondary mode, and it is bright enough for me to see clearly. Probably not going to show up on my, now this is very bright. I mean, I can very clearly see what's in my yard with this level of brightness. Obviously, the battery's not going to last as long as in the Firefly mode, but still, if you need to look out for something outside or use this as a primary form of illumination in an emergency, you can quite easily achieve this. So I'm really impressed by the fact that this thing is putting out this much light with only a single AAA battery. Now we head inside for some more details. Alright, this has an IXP rating of 8, which means that it's supposed to be good to below 3 feet. Well, I don't have below 3 feet, but I can in fact check it here. Yep, it still works even when it's immersed. I do have one other test I want to run that's probably going to be a little more severe as far as its durability is concerned. But that's going to take a bit of time, so you will jump into the future and hopefully see the results. And here we have the final test I ran. I took the flashlight, put it into some water, and I froze it solid. This is probably more extreme than this light will ever be exposed to in the real world, but it works perfectly. So I was quite impressed by that fact. Now I just have to let it thaw out so I can shoot the final segment where I show you the packaging and the details in a greater focus when it's, you know, not frozen in a block of ice. But this thing really takes a beating. Alright, now we're on to the section where I get into the actual nitty-gritty. So here is the tin that the ThruNite Ti3 keychain light comes in. They came in a cardboard sleeve as well. I've already recycled that. Other than that, the tin is quite plain. And I quite like this packaging. It's very durable, and it's going to make sure that your flashlight gets to you in one piece. So we have some literature. We have some accessories. We have the Wickedest pack of material to keep your flashlight dry, and we have another accessory in here before we get to the flashlight itself, which is a nice little clip in case you'd like to carry this in your pocket. And the packaging is really quite nice. There's a small piece of foam in the bottom to keep it from impacting the metal itself, and then foam on the other side. And of course, you can take this out and reuse the tin if you're going to obviously be carrying this as a keychain light, so you're not going to need it in the tin. The accessories besides the clip are a chain and a loop. There is a split ring, and there is also a triangular capture ring. So you have an option between using just the split ring or putting the capture ring on here and then using the split ring itself. So you've got quite a few options, and a spare O-ring, which is also a nice touch. It's always good when a manufacturer takes into account that you are going to be opening and closing this to change batteries and such. Always put your O-ring at risk, and I'm glad they included one. The literature, I'm just going to hold it in my hand because this thing, without the clip on it, rolls around quite a bit. The Ultimate Keychain Flashlight. And it says, ThruNite, guiding you through the night. Just a nice little logo. In here we have features and specifications. Small but powerful 1 AAA flashlight. Max output up to 120 lumens. 4 output modes, Firefly, low, high, and hidden strobe. It's a Cree XP-G2 R5 LED with the lifespan of 20 plus years. It uses 1 battery. I've currently got a just standard Duracell in here. If I were going to use this thing, and I wanted to make sure that I had the maximum potential of it working every single time, and this is probably going to be my replacement as soon as the current one I've got runs out. I would probably throw a lithium AAA in here. They have a really nice shelf life, so that when you're not using your flashlight and when you need it, you're going to have it. A reflector of weighs 12 grams without battery. It's very lightweight. The dimensions are 70 millimeters in length and 14 millimeters at the widest, which is at the head because there's a swedge down between the head and the body. Reflector is OP reflector. Aircraft quality aluminum body structure. Premium Type 3 hard anodized anti-abrasive finish, which is really quite nice. It looks very good. I have to admit, I'm slightly disappointed because it is the black Tactical. I might have preferred a color that was a little different. Not to mention, being a keychain light, I think that it might help you locate your keys more easily. Waterproof to IXP8 standard, and I've shown you that in your average puddle drop, it's a keychain light. You're not going to have any problems with this flashlight. Output and runtime at the Firefly Mode, which is 0.04 lumens, 115 hours. That is awesome. Low, which is 12 lumens. I don't know why I keep saying plural. 6.3 hours. High, 120 lumens, 0.5 hours. At strobe, which is 120, 1 hour. It does function one-handed, as they say. There's your Firefly right now. And I have to be honest, I think this is almost slightly too smooth. I would prefer just a smidge more resistance. The one advantage of this is if it ever does come on for some reason in your pocket at the lowest level, you're going to notice it before it runs out. Turn on and off. Easy twist the head to turn on and off the light. Tighten the head for on and loosen for off. Pretty simple. Down here it gives you the actual breakdown, off time, function, and the hidden function. And it tells you how long you have to change it and such, which is all very good. And then it shows you how to replace the battery and all the applicable information for contacting ThruNite, which is also quite good. And there will be links with this video showing you where you can purchase this particular flashlight. So up and close and personal, you can see that there is a lanyard hole right there, which is very well done. I like the way it stands proud of the flashlight itself, which means it's going to be easy to get a split ring in there, even though that is a small split ring, because I would prefer just to use a split ring myself, but put the split ring through both I may just use the split ring as itself and just put it on my keychain. I already have a small line on my keychain already. I might just reuse it. No reason not to. And I found, in case you ever need to put a very small split ring, I take a jeweler's screwdriver, a flathead, and use it to spread the split ring. And then that allows me to hold it open without hurting my fingernails, because those rings can be very small and my fingers are not. That allows me to get it into position. I can even use a pair of needle nose pliers to get it right where I want it, and then just pull it through. And once you've got it started, you pull the jeweler's pliers out, screwdriver out, and you're all set. Here we have the logo, the Ti3, and here we have ThruNite, and I quite like that. I like the printing they used on there, the font. I know that's probably strange to some folks, but I'm a person that appreciates a good font. And one of the things I liked about this is even with that ring on there, because it's offset like that, you can candle this. Now, obviously, you're not going to be using this probably for candling to light up a room. Even at 120 lumens, it's not going to light up for long. But you could set it down in a tent. You could set it down outside if you have to do something with your hands, or you could set it down inside a vehicle if you can find a flat spot. And I think this is an advantage that every flashlight should have. I have numerous flashlights in my collection that have butt caps that prevent you from candling, and to my mind, that's just poor design. And I'll be honest, you know, manufacturing, making a nice flat butt like that is not difficult to do, and it looks good. It's very nice. There's your reflector. And as the beam I showed you, it was very nice, a decent throw, decent flood, and there were very few artifacts of any kind in the beam. I'm very impressed by this flashlight. I mean, I realize I received this as a free copy, so you might be saying, well, your opinion is biased. Well, it's still a good quality flashlight, man. It does what it's supposed to do. It's light, it isn't too obnoxiously long, and it fills the same niche as does the AAA from Maglite. And this is just a superior product in every way than the Maglite version that's about the same size as this. There's just no comparison, in my opinion. I mean, other than the size and color, this beats that flashlight hands down. And there's also the Arc light, which I own a copy of, and it also does not perform as well as this one does, even though it is an LED. This is just a better quality, better feel, and more light modes. And the fact that it defaults to the Firefly is a big bonus to my mind. I really like that ThruNite does that. I think that it's a very smart design decision, because it's going into the lowest mode. It's the mode you're going to be using the most inside of a vehicle, looking at a map, or even fumbling for your keys to find a keyhole in the door. This is the perfect light mode for it to default to. Then you have the option of going up to a brighter setting, which is awesome. So folks, this has been the ThruNite Ti flashlight, and I have been quite impressed.